Welcome to another edition. It's actually the first edition of what I'm going to call Cardano DeFi, the Cardano DeFi edition. I'm going to do these videos live so I could just put them out there fast. So there's not going to be raw and unedited versions of these live videos coming out. So I'm glad to present it to you, and I hope you find some value out of this. I hope you're lucky enough to see this video in the days and weeks coming here. Today is a very special video that we're going to kick off, and we're going to talk about a borrowing and lending platform on Cardano. We're going to talk about Yamfore Protocol. I just went to Rare Evo in Las Vegas, met one of the members from the Yamfore team. Yamfore is a project that I've seen and been aware of for a few years now, and they're set to release their mainnet launch, right? They're about to come on mainnet. And when we look at their website here in a couple minutes, we are going to see that the testnet has just ended not that long ago, and that they are gearing up. They're warming up the engines for the mainnet that will couple with their fair token launch also. So we're going to look at that. We're going to take a look at Yamfore whitepaper. We're going to look at their audit. I love reviewing and looking at the audits so you can get a better understanding of what a project is, what it isn't, what it offers us, things to consider, and how we can get involved, when we can get involved, and does it make sense for us? Okay, and that's the point of this video. So what is Yamfore? Yamfore Protocol. Yamfore is a borrowing lending platform, like I said. Now, in the world of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology and decentralized finance, we know about borrowing and lending platforms. And if you don't know about them, well, welcome to borrowing and lending platforms in decentralized finance. And we all know about these borrowing and lending platforms from the Ethereum network, and now the Cardano network has really been active in their Cardano or in their decentralized finance in the world of DeFi. What I love about the Cardano DeFi ecosystem is that it hasn't really been exposed to the world like Ethereum's DeFi, right? It really hasn't gone through a DeFi summer, and that's extremely exciting to me. So for the past 2 years, actually coming up on 3 years with some of the DEXs, and 2 years on the borrowing and lending platforms, I've had a wealth of experience participating in Cardano DeFi, both the borrowing and lending side and the decentralized exchange side. And personally, I like to use both of those in conjunction with each other. And so we'll get into a little bit of that. I'll show you some of my positions so that you can realize that if you have not watched any of my videos before, that I am indeed a participator. And so what I'm telling you comes from my own experience, although it is not financial advice. You need to make your own decisions and do your own research, okay? But we're going to get into the research. We're going to get into some of that here because sometimes it's difficult to do it by yourself. I was just a part of the Intersect committee meeting in Philadelphia, here where I'm at, also for the Cardano ratification of the first ever on-chain governance, decentralized governance, and speaking to many of the team members and Cardano members in the community. DeFi came up a lot, and most people in the Cardano ecosystem aren't aware and keen of the instruments that are available for us to use and take advantage of right now in the very early stages of Cardano's DeFi. Okay, so Yamfore is incredible. And let's get into their website. We'll look at their white paper and audit, like I said, but right now I'll take you to my positions. I'm going to show you where I'm at on liquid finance. Okay, because I've been doing liquid finance now for about 2 years. It's a borrowing and lending platform. And traditionally, when we're borrowing and lending, what you're doing first is you're lending your crypto. Okay, you're going to lend an asset like ADA, Cardano or Ethereum on the Ethereum side, right? You're gonna provide liquidity by lending or supplying your ADA. And then traditionally how it works is you will then be able to borrow a loan against your supplied asset. Generally, you could take 50% of that supplied asset. So if you supply $1,000 on liquid finance, you can take a loan out for $500, and you're going to have a health factor to consider. Now, I've done videos in the past about these health factors, and I've done a 7-part series on liquid finance as an experiment with a few projects like Cornucopias and MinSwap. You'll see on my positions. And there are several strategies. And then what you need to do and you need to worry about is you need to manage your health factor, because you can get liquidated if your health factor goes below 1. Okay? So basically, to protect the suppliers, right? If you're supplying ADA on liquid finance and you're not taking out a loan, okay, and somebody borrows your ADA, takes out a loan, how can you feel confident that your ADA will be returned to you whenever you want to withdraw it? So this whole concept of a health factor comes into play. And if your loan ratio, your loan to value ratio is below a certain threshold, 1.0, you're at risk of liquidation. And then basically what that means is that they could sell your collateral through a smart contract that you enter, and that part of your loan will get liquidated and paid to the lender. Okay, so it works in this wonderful way where you don't need third parties, right? You don't need a bank or any middlemen to facilitate these loans, these borrows, and you don't need you don't need to fill out any forms or answer any questionnaires to take a loan out. Okay, right? The only thing that you need to do is provide your collateral. Okay, and so it's challenging and risky because of the health factor, and prices are volatile, right? They're going up and down, and so you have to manage that position pretty hands-on. But Yamfore comes into the mix and does something completely different and removes margin call, removes liquidations, and these health factors, this phenomenon. Now, this is quite the venture by the Yamfore team. So hats off and congratulations to the team for figuring out how to use the complexity behind Cardano's technology and present such a phenomenal top shelf product like Yamfore that figured out a way how to create and issue loans and take supplies and borrows without this health factor. We're going to look at that. Okay, we're going to look at the CBLP token, which is Yamfore's native token, and how that plays a role in borrowing in the Yamfore protocol. And then we're going to look at all that stuff. And then when Yamfore does come out, because I don't know when it is, right? I don't know. It could be right now. It's September 17th, 2024. The Cardano Summit, I think, is October 25th in Dubai. I would say that perhaps the team would love to get this out before that, Cardano Summit, but who knows, right? There's a lot that goes into these projects. It's really difficult to put a measurement on the exact day. But if you're like me and you're in their website and you're interested in one of these projects, you scroll all the way down, you link into their Discord, you say, hi, how you doing? And then you'll get real-time information on all the announcements that are going on, all the partnerships. And we're going to look at those. That's a really exciting thing for me. Their partnerships are extremely strong. They're growing. And I feel like Yamfore has a bright future. Okay. And yet again, I'm putting this video out because it's another opportunity prior to the mainnet launch, right? I think that years from now, we'll be looking back at these videos saying, wow, what would it have been like to understand at least the opportunity, right? Like if you're watching this video, there's the chances are you missed out on Bitcoin. You missed out on the early stages of mining Bitcoin and Ethereum, even maybe even Cardano to some degree. But here we are looking at a project that, yeah, the token's out, and that's another exciting opportunity, but it's not out on Mainnet, and it's coming really soon. Okay, maybe by the time you watch this video, it'll be out. Okay, so let me take you to my positions on liquid finance, because yeah, I can talk and I can tell you that, you know, I do DeFi and all that, but I want to show you, and I'm just showing it to you so that you can understand that I have some knowledge in this game, okay, skin in this game, and I put my focus of conversation, of video, where I feel like I have expertise. Okay, I feel like I have some. I mean, I'm not an expert by any means at all. Okay, half of what I'm doing here, who knows? But just to show you that there is some deep thought behind this, and some exciting things behind this. And when Yamfore does come out, I will create a position, and then I want to take the community here through these live editions of the Cardano DeFi editions through like a 4-year process. I'm gonna manage that position and go through a full bull and bear cycle. Okay, so that's to come. That's a lot to say. So let's get into the Liqwid. I'll show you Liqwid, and by doing that, what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to explain some of the things behind decentralized finance, lending and borrowing, as it traditionally is seen right now throughout the community. And there's a lot of strength with Liqwid, right? I'm not bashing liquid finance at all, but actually far from it. I love liquid finance. In fact, I've come up with some strategies to probably use both of them in conjunction with each other with some DEXs, but those are in future videos to come. Simulation videos where I go through a hypothetical simulations, and I suggest that you watch those videos when they come out also. Okay, so let's check out what we have on Liqwid. What you're looking at here in this one. Okay, so what you're looking at here is my position, and it looks like my head is in the way. Let me try to move my head somewhere else. Maybe even like shorten it up. So put it over here somewhere, huh? Put it like right there. Okay. All right. Here is my, I'm going to show you a few screens, a few slides on this. So hopefully you can still see. Okay. So what you're looking at here is, I'm on Liquid Finance. These screenshots were taken today, okay, right before I did the video. You're looking at the dashboard. You can check the markets, loans, right? And here is the total value locked. And then on this side, what you're going to be seeing is it reads my wallet, like Liquid Finance. If you've never been to Liquid Finance, it's going to read your wallet and read what tokens you have in your wallet. With your wallet balance, and also what supplies you have. Okay, so if you've watched my 7-part series, you'll see that I have supplied cornucopias tokens, and then I borrowed ADA, okay, which we're going to look at, and then I actually strategically use that ADA for hedging into other Cardano native token projects, and so that's a really nice video. You should check that out. Okay. Since then, I've added to that position. I've done more things. I've gotten even more creative. I've also supplied min swap. It's actually just comes into being around that same number of Copy and min swap, but they're different prices. You see the USD value of like the min swap is 26K, and just for the same amount of Copy, 41K. Right. And so my wallet balance in this wallet right now, I have 1,000 ADA, and I can supply that if I want. Okay. And then my supply. Okay. So here's my supply, and this is how much I have locked as collateral. Okay, I've locked all that as collateral, and I still have 30,000 Kopi in my wallet. Should I want to supply more? Igon, okay, can't really supply that. I don't really think it's enough. MinSwap, how much I have in my wallet, right? You get the gist. You get the gist. Snack, World Mobile, I could supply that. Okay, and then when you come over here, when you come over to, so my supplies total, right, 67,000, and my borrows are 17,000. And just to show you, right, so we have borrowed 30,000 ADA, which is right now today worth $9,960. And my collateral, the 1.73 million Kopi, is worth 41,000. So that gives me a health factor of 1.66. Okay, and if that health factor goes down below 1, my cornucopias could be sold, okay, to establish that health factor above 1 again. Okay, so if, for instance, the price of cornucopias goes down in value tremendously, like if 1.73 million cornucopias tokens goes down towards around $20,000 instead of the 41,000, you're going to see this health factor dramatically get nearer and nearer to that 1. And if it goes below 1, right, they could begin selling my cornucopias to actually pay back this loan for me, okay, through the smart contract, like I said, and bring this back to a health factor of above 1. And then if cornucopias continues to fall, and I'm not doing anything to manage this position, they will continue to sell more and more and more of my cornucopias tokens and paying more and more and more of this debt. There's also like a premium that you're paying in the amount, and it's no good, ladies and gentlemen. It's no good. You don't want that, right? You do not want this happening. So what you need to be doing is you need to be watching these positions. You need to be watching the prices and on the charts every day if you're being responsible. And so I am, right? I'm watching these charts every single solitary day, multiple times a day, several different charts and indicators, tap tools, right? You have resources to watch your market. And the other thing can happen, right? Another thing can happen is that, let's say the price of ADA, okay, that's my borrowed amount. The price of ADA skyrockets, right? So we just looked at what would happen if Kopi just drains, it just dumps in relation to ADA's volatility. So if cornucopias dumps, we're going to need to manage our health factor. And how do we do that if it dumps? There's two things you can do. You can take ADA and pay back some of that loan. Okay, that's one way to manage your position. You can take ADA, pay back the loan, pay back 1,000 or something, so that you reduce your debt, so that the health factor, so that the amount of Kopi tokens that is now towards $20,000 or 30. I mean, that's drastic, right? That would be like going way down. Like Kopi would drop like 50%. But this is crypto, right? We are in a volatile place. This is volatile. There are these candles that just can sometimes shock you going up and down. Okay. And so you will need to, one way you can do the management of this position in that case is pay back some ADA so that your health factor goes up. Or the second option is you can add more Kopi to the position, right? You can just continue to add more Kopi to the position if you have more Kopi in your wallet, like over here, right? I could actually take the 30,000 ADA or Kopi, supply it, and then lock it as collateral, right? To mitigate the health factor. Now, in the second scenario where ADA's price skyrockets, my borrowed asset skyrockets against my supplied asset, you run into a problem also, because this $30,000, this 30,000 ADA, if ADA goes back to anywhere near its previous all-time high, which was $3, if you believe it or not, sitting right now at like 33 or something cents, it's hard to believe. But if it goes towards its previous all-time high, that was $1.20. Imagine if ADA went to $1.20, this 30,000 ADA is going to be worth, if for simplicity's sake, if ADA goes to $1, this 30,000 ADA is going to be worth $30,000. And if COPI is stagnant, well, $30,000 is really close to $40,000. So you run into a problem, right? So both options apply. The best option is to always pay back the debt. So you can pay back to increase your health factor, or you could supply more COPI, right? And so I'm going to tell you in a couple moments when we get down to my min swap slides that I have a strategy on managing this on a monthly basis that definitely be valuable for you if you're entertaining the world of decentralized finance. Okay, but my recommendation, and nothing is financial advice, right? You have to do your own work and research, but it is always nice to start small, to start slow. Okay, build yourself up, build the understanding up, and that's what this is about. Because we're spending a lot of time on liquid finance here, so that you can realize and wrap your mind around what borrowing and lending is from the traditional standpoint. And then when we get to Yamfore, you are going to be relieved in many ways. Okay, and I think that it'll benefit tremendously lots of users in the Cardano ecosystem, but in crypto overall, because there is nothing like it. Okay, the way that liquid finance is set up here is standard across crypto, right? So there's lots of protocols on many different blockchains that have this same approach. Now, I think Liqwid is one of the better ones. It does a lot more than those other protocols, and I am an extreme supporter of liquid finance, okay, for those reasons. And then the same thing for the mint. It's the same exact thing where I am supplying a Cardano native token and I'm taking out ADA as a loan. Okay, that's my debt. It's my debt. Same situation. Okay, and so this is the big nicer health factor, because my supplied amount is 26,000, and this is the ADA right now is only worth 7,000. Okay, just to show you that I have participated in the space. This is the same this is my same account, okay, the same wallet. And just to show you the staking, you can stake your Liqwid tokens. Okay, so I began this account November 19th, 2023. So actually 2 months here, almost exactly 2 months. This will wrap up on 1 year worth of experience into liquid finance. That's when those positions began staking, and then you can continually add stake. And then actually a couple of days ago, 5 days ago, I increased my stake in Liqwid. Okay, I increased my stake because when you are participating in liquid finance, you're getting rewards. You're staking also. You're getting staking rewards from the Liqwid, and your supply is growing, and you're also getting market participation rewards. So there's an incentive there for you also to participate in a platform like liquid finance because of its staking and market participation. Okay, and then so that's my one account. I have another account, so you can, if you have multiple wallets, and when you get in this game, you will see that you could do different things with different wallets. Okay, so different DEXs do different things. They have different opportunities. They have different staking vaults. There are different pools. There's different partnerships. Okay, and so when you start slow and you start small, like I recommended, maybe with like $100 or whatever you feel comfortable with, you could then, through the trial of it, through the practice of it, recognize and reading the white paper and understanding what the platform actually is, gives you more confidence, and you can add to your positions and kind of build it over time. And you might say, well, I need another wallet. This is my original wallet on Liqwid Finance, and it's completely different, right? And you've seen this if you've seen my 7-part series. So on this position, I have supplied ADA, okay, and then I have borrowed JED. And this is a lower health factor because ADA, this has been in here. And when we go, if you go to this one here, yes, my stakes, April 6th, 2023 is when I began staking and participating in Liqwid Finance in this my main account here. And so this April, that'll come up on 2 years, 2 solid years, right? 2 solid years of participating in the platform. And so when I began these positions, you can imagine the price of ADA was a lot different. And so the health factor you can see is in this yellow, and it's just a little bit less of a health factor. You want your health factors to be above 2, 3, okay? And so I'm constantly managing this position by paying back the JED or adding ADA to the supply. Okay. Again, this is kind of a challenge. It's difficult to participate in these borrowing and lending platforms. And I think that's the reason why most people don't, is because it's risky. And so you're better off just kind of holding, hanging out with your wallet there and having peace of mind and sleeping well at night. But there are opportunities here if you're responsible to be had. And that's what this video is about. And so this is this is what I would call more of a standard loan operation where you would supply ADA and then borrow a stablecoin. The reason I say that is because unlike the previous position where I supplied MIN token or COPI token and borrowed ADA, both of those assets are moving up and down according to price. So they're both volatile, right? The price of MIN can go up and go down, and ADA up and down. But JED is a stable token, and the stable token just stays at the price of $1, okay? And so there is no volatility there fluctuating like the exotic tokens I like to think of them as, like the Cardano native tokens. Okay, so all I need to worry about is ADA's going up and down. I don't need to also worry about COPI going up and down, right? And so it is my view that we're near the bottom, and we're actually, in my view, we're coming out of the bottom of the bear market, and we're nearing the foothills of a bull market. Okay, and so is my view that the price of ADA has a lot of upside potential to it. So right now at 30 cents, right, 33 cents, my 156,000 ADA is worth $51,000. If ADA goes to its previous all-time high of $1, let's just keep it at $1, easy. This 156K ADA is going to be worth $156,000 against my $29,000, call it $30,000 loan here of JED. My health factor is going to be extremely high. Now I've calculated this out such that ADA's price can drop down towards roughly 27, 26 cents, and I will still be safe in this position. Okay, I don't want to test those waters. And if ADA's price goes to 30 cents, let's say, I will be actively maneuvering this position. But like I'll show you in the next slides, how I'm managing these positions on a monthly basis adds more responsibility and management of these positions that over time chips away at them regardless of price volatility. Okay. And so Yamfore is going to be set up such like this. Yamfore is not, and we're going to look at their paper, going to take on Cardano native tokens. Like you're not going to be supplying Min or Copy or any of these Cardano native tokens like you can in Liqwid. You are only going to be supplying ADA, okay? And you're not going to be borrowing ADA or any Cardano native tokens. The only asset you're going to be borrowing is going to be a stable coin, okay? And that's a key difference also. So you're only supplying ADA on Yamfore and you're only borrowing a stable coin. And we're going to look at how the CBLP token, Yamfore's native token, plays a role, okay, in that. But that it'll be set up just like this. Like you'll supply your ADA and then you'll be borrowing a loan. But you don't have to worry about health factor because Yamfore is state-of-the-art different, okay? And right before we get to Yamfore, let's move over to the other slide. We got, these are my sub-stakes. These are my sub-stakes. I just showed you that, right? April 6th. Gives you voting power. You vote on all the governance proposals. So here's my min swap. Here's min swap. Just want you to see that when you're making your first mark or your first go or participation in a decentralized finance environment, a DeFi world, a DEX, a decentralized exchange, is where I first started. Now that that's true just because it was the only available option, right? Like DEXs came first and then the DeFi lending protocols came after. And I think that is a fantastic way to get your feet wet and to understand these positions a little bit differently and how you can then utilize the benefits of a decentralized exchange like MinSwap, or there's several DEXs, there's ViFi, there's Wing Riders, Sunday Swap. How you can take advantage of the decentralized exchanges and the harvesting their farming rewards and build up your positions and then go ahead and go into some of the borrowing and lending platforms. So once you get familiar with smart contracts and Web3 and connecting your wallet, signing transactions, okay, being in positions. And you could just look here that what I want to show you here is that I have this CBLP position. And we're going to look at that for a second, okay? We're going to look at that. So I came over here. This is on MinSwap. I came over here and showed you my liquidity. This is like one of my accounts again, right? This is just one of my accounts. And I wanted to show you my CBLP position because right now Yamfore is not on the mainnet. However, you can still get their tokens on a DEX like MinSwap. And then you can take those tokens, should you desire, and provide them as liquidity onto MinSwap. And you'll receive liquidity provider tokens or LP tokens that kind of act as a receipt for your participation. And then should you want to, you could take those liquidity provider tokens that get sent directly to your wallet when you provide liquidity and farm them in their pool. Okay? And that's what you're looking at right here with me. This is my, see, when you're under the liquidity tab of MinSwap, I am in my farms. So these are all my farms. AdaFact is one of my farms. OrcFax, Stuff, CBLP. We got SNEC, SPXT, GoKey, Noom. This is just one of my accounts where I have several of these farms for different reasons. Okay, the reason I'm getting involved with the CBLP farm is because I would like to take advantage of higher emissions that are coming out of the CBLP project at this very moment. Okay, and so I have pulled 9,000 ADA with the CBLP token. That is equal to 489,000. And again, these screenshots were taken right before I started this video. These are my LP tokens that get sent to my wallet. And that is a representation, okay, of both of these assets combined, right? And so that is my total ADA worth with my LPs. But when you farm these, okay, you get rewards. And so right now, since my last harvest, I have 207 ADA worth of rewards. Now we're going to look at that. That's going to be in the form of Min token, ADA, and CBLP. Okay, and my pool share is 1.728%. That'll continue to go down over time as more and more people start to provide liquidity. All right, so why do this? Okay, so here are my farms now. Okay, so this is my farms and listed in order. A little different. It shows my LP locked. I have 400, and this is how many ADA are locked in the entire pool. Okay, so altogether, all the liquidity providers that pulled their ADA together equals 426,866 ADA. Okay, and my stake in the game here is 19,247. But look at the APR, and this is why I wanted to show this for you. Take the time to show it for you because the APR is 56%. Okay, the Go Key went up here, 57%. I like Go Key. Have a like Craig from Go Key, shout out. I think they're doing really good stuff. I mean, I don't have as much of a stake in Go Key or SPX. This is the bootstrapping form, but look at the APRs. Okay, 58%, 57, 56. So since my last harvest, like I showed you, my rewards over here, I'm going to take you back. My rewards say 207.16 ADA right there, right? Well, that if I add up my min rewards, okay, of 57.7, so I only have 1.31 ADA. And look at the CBLP tokens. 10,331. Add all those up, you're going to get that 20. You're going to get this number here. Okay, the 207.6. And so I just wanted to kind of drop down and highlight this pool because this is what I'm doing. I'm getting prepared for the mainnet launch of Yamfore by participating in the opportunity to take advantage of their emissions. Okay. And when you look at, if I were to break down the 58%, the 56%, and I could actually do it over here on my other computer for you real quick, just to get you showing up. If I break that down, it's quite nice to recognize. Okay, yeah. So out of the 58%, how's that broken down? Well, the trading fees, you're going to get 9.29% of the trading fees. So all the trading that's going on that pool, okay, liquidity providers and farmers are taking 9.29% of that. Now the CBLP, the token itself, is you're getting out of that 56%, 9.29 are trading fees, 46.4% are in the form of CBLP tokens, okay? And you're just getting 0.3% ADA and 0.553% of min swap. So you're not getting many min or ADA, and that's not why I'm in the pool. I'm in the pool because I want CBLP tokens. Okay, and so, well, what about impermanent loss? Everybody says, what about impermanent loss? Permanent loss is something people have high concern about, and you should, because it can be something that can feel very painful if you're not aware of what you're doing. Again, with these positions, there's a high level of responsibility you need to take into consideration when forming these positions. And so impermanent loss is these two numbers here right now, okay? these two numbers, so we have 426,886 and 19,000 ADA. These are equal 50-50 ratios. Now, when I came into this pool, okay, I zapped in, which means I only had ADA. And MinSwap is a great feature that if you only have one asset, like if you want to get into this pool and you have $1,000 worth of ADA that you're willing to use to participate in the CBLP pool, but you don't have any CBLP tokens, what you could do is zap that $1,000 of ADA into this pool. And what that's going to do is MinSwap's DEX is going to trade half of your position for you, half of your ADA for you. It will buy CBLP tokens and then send you LP tokens to your wallet, liquidity provider tokens. And so then you're going to then see that you'll have $1,000 worth of ADA here, and you're going to have if you're starting with $1,000 worth of ADA, you will now have $500 worth of ADA here, and you will have $500 worth of CBLP tokens here. So that ratio will continuously change. And the challenge about DEXs and providing liquidity on DEXs is that the phenomenon works such like this. Whichever token is increasing in value, that token is being sold off in the pool. And you are losing those tokens, and you are gaining the other tokens that don't have as much value. And impermanent loss is that if you then would just sell your position, you would have less than if you would have just held those tokens in your wallet. I hope that makes sense. So like if the price of CBLP goes way up because of its launch that's coming in a couple weeks, right? Or I don't know, a month, whoever knows. Whenever it comes out, let's just say that the CBLP token jumps in value, like to an order of magnitude up higher, goes up like 50% against ADA's rising. So even if ADA is rising, but CBLP rises higher and faster than ADA, you're going to experience, you can look at this pool. I've been done this this is coming on 3 years actually with the DEXs, like March, 3 years. You just take my word for it that you can look at this pool if you stay through. And I might actually just take screenshots and show you this through time just so that you can see what I mean. This might actually go down to something like 380,000 CBLP tokens at a time where they're going up, right, in value. Now, my ADA, so if CBLP goes up in price, I'm going to get less of them because they're going to be sold off, all right? And I'll have more ADA. So I might have like 22, 23, 24, 25,000 ADA here. And then if CBLP continues to go up higher because it just gets more and more adoption, this number is going to get even less. It'll go down to it could go down to 300,000. It can go down to 280,000. And this might go to 30,000 ADA. And so you might be upset when you start doing the math. You're thinking, oh my gosh, well, 426,000 CBLP tokens times this price. Wow, gosh, I should have just held it in my wallet. And then your ADA is not going to be worth the difference. Okay, so that's something to think of. But I say that because being in the impermanent loss world for so long, it does not bother me. It doesn't, because I like ADA also. For me, I have to like both of these projects. Okay, I would like ADA, yeah, and I would like CBLP. If I have less of these tokens and more ADA, I think I'm okay with that. Now, the reason I'm okay with that is because of these yield farming rewards that you get, okay? You get these rewards. Now, okay, so over time, if you're in this for a year, gosh, the CBLP tokens that you're losing here can actually be made up for. Okay. And not to mention, you're getting min also. Okay. So the yield farming is an incentive to mitigate against impermanent loss. And so that's something to factor in. Now, what are you doing with the CBLP tokens? What are you doing with the ADA, the min? Okay. You could be taking these and zapping them back into the pool. There's all kinds of different strategies. But what I just wanted to show you is that when it comes to this world of decentralized finance, right, there's a lot to consider. Okay. A lot to take serious. In fact, everything is taken serious. So I'm excited to participate in the CBLP farms here on MinSwap so that I am acquiring some of their tokens such that I can use them on their platform when they come into play. So what now? What is the Yamfore platform? All right, let's take a look deeper now that we get an understanding, we get a little bit more of an understanding of what these DeFi protocols are, the borrowing and lending platforms. What are these DEXs? What is this Yamfore protocol? Let's check it out. All right. Let's see if I can move. I'll move my little figure of my back down to where it was. Maybe I go down here and move it back down here. All right. Boom. Okay. So Yamfore.com. Borrowing simplified. This is a very exciting project. So enter Yamfore and discover a new approach to crypto-backed loans designed exclusively for Cardano. Enjoy indefinite loan terms, zero ongoing interest, and no risk of margin calls, right? Margin calls are what we kind of talked about when we looked at my positions. So meaning if the amount of your collateral gets less and less valuable, like the copy, for instance, that I have supplied, gets less and less and less valuable. Margin call, in a sense, is, look, you need to do something to this loan to keep the health factor healthy. So you need to either supply more cornucopias tokens or you need to pay back this ADA, because if not, you're going to start getting into deep water and you're at risk for liquidation. Okay. It's amazing. Total value locked. Look, they're coming. So there's nothing locked on the platform yet. So there's a CBLP flat fee. We're going to get into that, and a fixed interest rate of 9%. Okay. Look at their partners. I've been a Giro fan for a while, for quite some time. I have a few Giro wallets and some Giro tokens. I like that they're partnered with Giro Wallet. Orcfax is a major person, protocol of interest in my world. Orcfax is an oracle. I did an interview with Peter Van Garderen. It's one of my biggest. It's actually the biggest pool I have in MinSwap. And I like the fact that Yamfore is partnering with Orcfax to call its Cardano native token feeds, okay? The price feeds. Fluid tokens is another one. I like them. I was a part of their liquidity bootstrapping event on MinSwap. So Fluid tokens, these are good signs for me. These are good signs for me when I'm researching a project. Moneta, this is a stable coin. Moneta, USDM. Met them at Rare Evo. Been following them for quite some time. And actually at the Intersect committee meeting in Philadelphia, I ran into the same guy who I met at Rare Evo, who lives in New York. Moneta, that makes me excited. Dex Hunter. Okay, if you don't know about Dex Hunter, they are a DEX aggregator on the Cardano blockchain. I'm excited about Dex Hunter Pond, and I'm sure that these partners and allies will continue to grow. This is a fantastic start for me. Simplicity in a nutshell, right? If watching the first portion of this video was confusing because of what you saw at Liquid Finance and the health factors and what if it goes up, what if it goes down, if that wasn't simple for you, Yamfore by design makes this process extremely simple. And so it's going to be interesting for me to come on to the Yamfore platform and say, what do I do here? I don't have to worry about margin calls. I don't have to worry about liquidations. Gosh, I might be able to get some sleep at night. It's so simple. You borrow, you wait, you repay. All right. There's no time, right? There's no time intervals like lots of projects. You have to actually set how much time. Okay, like Fluid Finance, for instance. Go on there and check them out. You have to put, not always, but on some, you have to put these times. How long do you want the loan for, right? So the features: no margin calls, borrow with confidence, knowing your loan is secure against market volatility. So they eliminate margin calls and any liquidation risk, providing, like we just talked about, peace of mind, protecting your financial plans from unexpected disruptions. So Yamfore actually takes on that responsibility. No ongoing interest payments. Experience a transparent and predictable borrowing experience with a single upfront payment, and that's going to be paid in the CBLP token, and no recurring interest charges. All interest is accrued at the total debt position and repaid upon closure of the loan at the borrower's discretion. There's no time limits, like we just talked about. Okay, so you could repay at your own pace and enjoy that the freedom of what that has to offer you. Now, I like that actually because I would consider myself like a swing trader in a sense, like a long-term swing trader that recognizes in the blockchain space, Bitcoin, right? There's 4-year cycles really. There's 4-year cycles where generally there's like around, right? There's nothing set and definite, but around a 3-year, like from the capitulation, from the low and the trough and the sideways accumulation phase, all the way from that low to the next peak is generally 3 years. And from that peak to the capitulation is generally 1 year. So the bear market is generally like a year of time going down to the capitulation. And then from that moment all the way through to the next peak is about 3 years. And so when we go through the simulations of what we can actually do with these loans in the next video, we'll write some numbers and I'll show you some of my plans and my simulation, my hypotheticals. It is quite exciting what you could do in taking advantage of the price volatility, both on the way up and on the way down. So what's the catch? The catch is that Yamfore fees are higher than traditional loans, as the protocol absorbs the risk of market fluctuations to protect you from margin calls and ongoing interest. This model isn't for everyone, but if you prioritize flexibility, predictability, and peace of mind, the Yamfore model could be the perfect fit. And here are people that are just talking about it. Okay, boom, you can plug right into their Discord. Here are some frequently asked questions. Big Blimp are the creators of Yamfore. Brandon is one of the founders of Yamfore, and Vladimir, the founder of Ncoins and ZK Fold. I think they were introduced into the community on Catalyst Fund 6 and became friendly and respected ever since. So that is really exciting. Catalyst. Now, you click launch, boop. Eventually, we're going to go right into their app. But right now, Yamfore Testnet V2 has successfully concluded. Thank you to everybody that participated. So they're now focusing on completing official audits by TX Pipes. That actually has been completed, and we're going to read that together here in a moment. And they are now ready to turn on their mainnet launch and fair token offering, which they're going to be doing at the exact same time, which I think is very interesting also. So you don't just have a lot of downward pressure on the price of the CBLP token that respects current holders of the project. So I really do think that's nice. Follow the socials, right? And so we go to resources, light paper, white paper, GitHub audit. We're going to check out the light paper. I already have this open, this tab open. Click, and we're going to go to their light paper. Okay, and so here are the executive summary. the contents, the overview, loan cycle, and we're going to check it out. Okay. So it really does take advantage of Cardano blockchain. Okay. Most of what we know about decentralized world of finance was built on Ethereum, the EVM machines, and Ethereum's first to market in lots of ways, and presented the automated market maker style of DEXs and the way that we establish borrowing and lending platforms. And every single Cardano decentralized finance protocol in a way has followed suit. Okay. MinSwap is an automated market maker DEX. SundaySwap's an automated market maker DEX. Wing Riders, Vi Finance. They're utilizing this pool structure, 50-50 pool structure. There's batchers that batch the transactions and such. And then you have teams that are like, hold on for a second. Cardano doesn't use the account-based model like Ethereum does. They have the extended UTXOs here. What could we do with that? What did we want to do with Bitcoin that we couldn't do with Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is a UTXO model, right? It's a proof of work UTX model. And Ethereum recognized that there was a lot of limitations to that UTXO model and is credited for inventing the smart contract, which in Ethereum is essentially a program that sits on top of their blockchain. So it's not really integrated with the security and robustness of Ethereum's main network. But Ethereum's blockchain overall is a lot different if you study it than Cardano's. And so Cardano, that took the principles of Satoshi's vision of the UTXO model and extended it. That's why you have the eUTxO, the extended UTXO, allowed for the ability to have smart contracts within the protocol, within the secure, robust measures of the Cardano Layer 1 blockchain. And so Cardano native token projects can act differently than ERC20 tokens, which are smart contract layer 2s on Ethereum. And so then you have DEXs like Genius Yield are going down the same path as Yamfore is going down the path of changing borrowing and lending. You have decentralized exchanges, DEXs like Genius Yield, going down another path to create order book style DEXs that are far from what we see all across Ethereum in this automated market maker DEX style. Okay. And so there are more and more developers and people recognizing the ability to express a different way of doing the standard DEX, the standard borrowing and lending platform with the technology of what Cardano has to offer. Okay. And so that's why Yamfore is extremely powerful, because it's paving its own path. It's going down a road no one has been down before. And it's quite exciting. Okay. So it streamlines that Cardano blockchain with this decentralized platform. Loans are secured using ADA, Cardano native's cryptocurrency. And then CBLP token holders manage loan terms and the platform's governance, ensuring long-term stability, revenue generation, decentralized governance. Okay. We're going to be looking at it. So when you supply, so the Yamfore Protocol is a decentralized lending system that allows its users to attain crypto-backed loans without a set maturity by using the Cardano's blockchain native token ADA as collateral. And they will repay their loans whenever they want. The loan that you're going to be getting, as we'll see, is a stablecoin. So the CBLP token utility. So when you're supplying ADA and then seeking to get a loan, you will be paying a one-time fee in CBLP tokens when you take out a loan. And that integrates this token, the utility of the CBLP token, directly into the lending process. And so there's also governance where you can vote on the direction on key decisions within the protocol. And then there's an economic incentive. The tokenomics of CBLP incentivize holding and participating in the protocol, as fees collected in CBLP are sent to the treasury, increasing the value controlled by the protocol and, by extension, its token holders. CBLP, I was talking with Diego. I actually met Diego. Diego, if you're coming across this far, hi to you. Saw him at Rare Evo. We started talking. We've been talking on Discord. I asked him, I said, what does CBLP stand for? And he's like, I think, and let me check. And he went to check. It's community-backed loan position. Yes, community-backed loan position. So there's a little tidbit for you. I love understanding what some of that stuff means. Okay, so here's some great utility, right? So gives you reason why I fell. If you go back to me farming on MinSwap, I'm taking advantage of acquiring these tokens right now through participation in the emission schedule as fast as best I can with the time allotted. So what is up with the stablecoin treasury? So the internal stablecoin treasury is the financial backbone of the Yamfore Protocol. Okay, and the treasury consists of a diverse basket of stablecoins, all native to the Cardano blockchain. And these stablecoins are the primary medium for funding loans, enabling the protocol to sidestep conventional lending institutions. Okay, and the treasury doesn't hold onto these assets for long. The protocol aims to promptly lend them out to borrowers. And we're going to look at how that is structured here when we look into the treasury. Yamfore maintains a CBLP denominated treasury that entirely comprises of CBLP tokens, the native governance and utility token of the protocol. Okay, and there's going to be an auction portal where they're offered to the community at a discounted rate. Okay, and the proceeds from these auctions in the form of stable coins are then redirected to bolster the stablecoin treasury, ensuring a consistent supply of funds for the issuance of new loans. This mechanism is vital for perpetuating the protocol's liquidity and ensuring the stability and longevity of the Yamfore platform. So the CBLP auction portal operates by allowing individuals to use their stable coins to purchase CBLP tokens at a discounted rate. This mechanism serves a dual purpose. One, it provides the protocol with a steady stream of stable coins, right? And so stable coins being the only thing that are borrowable. The only thing that you can borrow on Yamfore are stable coins. And the only thing that you can supply is ADA. And the only thing that you could use to pay the fee is CBLP, the one-time fee, okay? CBLP. And there's a scenario, there's a hypothetical simulation down here that we'll look at that shows this very clearly. The mechanism serves a dual purpose, okay? Steady stream of stablecoins, and offers CBLP token holders a direct avenue to increase their holdings and, by extension, their influence within the protocol's governance. So right now, immediately, I can imagine that there's going to be tons of arbitrage opportunities. Advantage. There's so much advantage in that process where you can capture these tokens at a discounted rate. Rate. So the tokens sold through the auction come from Yamfore's internal CBLP treasury. So as participants buy CBLP tokens, the stablecoins they use for purchase are channeled back into the lending protocol, ensuring a consistent replenishment of funds for new loans. This creates a cyclical system that boosts the protocol's liquidity while simultaneously supporting the CBLP token value and utility. The CBLP auction portal stands as a strategic tool for growth and sustainability. See, when you have to pay that one-time fee in CBLP tokens, those go into a portal, like a vault, that acquire a certain threshold amount that then get put up for auction. Okay. smart contracts and NFTs. Okay, so when a user locks their ADA collateral, smart contract governs the terms of the loan, ensuring that the process is transparent and tamper-proof. So you know exactly what you're getting into the moment you enter the protocol and lock your ADA. And no one can alter or tamper with the arrangement in the agreement here. Okay, so upon initiating a loan, the protocol issues an NFT to the borrower, which symbolizes ownership of the loan and the terms agreed upon. This is extremely exciting. This NFT is a unique digital certificate that can be traded. You can actually trade that NFT or held until the borrower decides to repay the loan and reclaim their ADA collateral. Just imagine that. A whole market now of NFTs that can be traded that represent a loan position. I think that's why they're partnering with Fluid Finance too. It's worth stressing that the borrower can trade the NFT representing the underlying loan, allowing them to engage in all manner of varied trading strategies, we just talked about. Together, these components create a decentralized borrow-centric lending environment. The CBLP token allows users to participate in the ecosystem and gives them a stake in its governance. The stablecoin treasury provides the capital. The CBLP treasury refills the auction platform that increases the available funds, and the smart contracts with NFTs ensures a secure and transparent loan process. Okay, so look at the loan cycle here. When a borrower opts for a loan, they pledge ADA as collateral and lock it into Yamfore smart contracts. The system immediately calculates a one-time fee payable in CBLP tokens based on current ADA USD market prices, called on by Oracle. So we saw them in their partnerships, which I like that. When someone starts a loan and pays the fee in CBLP tokens, those tokens are moved to the CBLP treasury, which takes them out of circulation. Okay. Well, you say, well, what if I only have 1,000 ADA and I don't have any CBLP tokens, and I don't want to go on a DEX and trade and get CBLP tokens? If that's your question, if that question pops up in your mind, you are going to have that answered very soon. When the demand is high for loans, CBLP token holders can choose to raise the CBLP for initiating a loan. All this will be held with governance. Upon fee repayment, borrowers receive stablecoins directly from the protocol stablecoin treasury based on the agreed loan-to-value ratio set at loan initiation. And along with that loan, the unique NFT simultaneously minted to your wallet, representing the loan terms and serving as a digital certificate of your collateralized ADA. Interest accumulation. With the loan dispersed, interest begins to accrue passively at a fixed annual rate determined by the protocol's governance. There are no periodic payments required, and interest simply adds to the total debt, which is so fantastic because you can just predict and understand. It's predictable. You know exactly what you're getting into. You know over the course of a year what you're going to have to pay in interest. So the difference is that one-time fee. That's what I like about that. But if you think about it, you can get creative with this, can't you? As you start, my mind spins at how you could, with some stable coins, capture CBLP tokens at a discounted rate. There's also a way, I think they get into down here, where you can actually capture ADA at a discounted rate as well. And supply, use your discounted CBLP tokens. Yeah, there's some extremely creative measures that I think opens up to us all Cardano DeFi participators with the introduction of this protocol here. So look at this example again. A borrower with a $100,000 loan at 7% fixed interest rate will incur $7,000 yearly interest. This interest rate accumulates per epoch at 95.89 per epoch, calculated as 7,000, right? 73 epochs being 1 year. Every epoch is 5 days worth of time. So you divide 365 divided by 5, you're going to get 73 epochs. And so what I love about it is it's not that this 7% every epoch is adding and then so it's not like it's like 95 gets added to the 100,000 and then 7% on top of that, and then 7%, it just compounds. And that's what you look at when you're in liquid finance. When you're liquid finance, okay, the interest is growing constantly and it's compounding, and it's now you're being charged interest on that new sum. So if it's 100,000, after one epoch, your borrow now is 100,095.89. In the next epoch, it's going to be more. So this interest rate is going to accumulate more and more and more and more and more across that year. But the difference with Yamfore here is that no, just this $100,000 loan that you took out at a 7% fixed interest rate, you know exactly it's going to be $107,000 you need to pay back at the end of that year. Okay, so staking rewards during the loan period, the protocol stakes the locked ADA. This is interesting too, because when you provide liquidity on liquid finance, like that 156,000 ADA, that was actually 154 a couple weeks ago. I mean, not a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. But it grows because you are getting a portion of the staking fees. I think you're getting like 2% or 3%. You're not getting the full 5% from staking your ADA on liquid finance, but you're getting ADA. You know, that 156,000 is continuously growing on liquid finance. But in Yamfore, they are actually going to receive those rewards as revenue for the protocol. Okay. So the protocol stakes that locked ADA, and all staking rewards are funneled to the protocol, not the borrower. That's different. The collected ADA staking rewards are then sent to the ADA auction portal, where arbitrageurs can obtain a fixed market percentage discount on the price of ADA in exchange for providing stablecoins to the protocol. The stablecoins received from the ADA auction portal are immediately lent out, incentivizing more demand for CBLP tokens in the open market. You're starting to see how all this is coming together here. That's exciting. Okay. So at Mainnet launch, users are going to be providing ADA. And they're going to, with the fair token offering, where you can take part in acquiring CBLP tokens from their launch, the ADA right there is going to go into the protocol, and we're going to be looking at that. It's just going to be a wild. My imagination is very keen on the different directions on how this can be interesting to actually take part in this cyclical nature of Yamfore's protocol here. And so repayment at any time the borrower chooses, they can repay the loan. It's done by paying back the principal amount of the stablecoins borrowed plus the accumulated interest. Closure and collateral retrieval. Upon repayment, the borrower's NFT deed is redeemed while their ADA collateral is unlocked and returned to them. Stablecoins used for repayment are then cycled back into the protocol's treasury to fund new loans. Okay, so throughout this cycle, the borrower retains exposure to the price movement of their ADA, benefiting from any appreciation in value, as they are not required to sell their ADA to access capital. Let's look at, so we're going to look at an example down below, but right now I just want to reiterate that borrowers are not subject to margin calls or liquidation risk during their loan term, regardless of price action of their collateral. They do also not have to make any ongoing interest repayments, and their loan term is indefinite. This makes Yamfore crypto-backed loans more similar to perpetual long positions on the price appreciation of ADA than traditional crypto-backed loans from other protocols or platforms. And so on the other hand, Yamfore earns money from a loan when it charges the borrower that one-time fee in CBLP tokens at the start of the loan, and then again when interest is collected to clone the position, and then also earns ADA from staking rewards. So that's how Yamfore makes all of its revenue. That's why it can take on the risk of that market volatility, right? And so Yamfore is essentially taking on that risk of market volatility so you don't have to worry about health factor. And it's made possible because of these three things, these three ways that it earns revenue. Okay? The initial one-time fee in CBLP, interest collected when you pay your loan, and then also earns the ADA that you stake. So when you lock up that ADA, they get to receive those rewards and then use it in their treasury. Is that cyclical cycle? Because all capital is lent by the protocol, this is what we just talked about, a greater level of risk can be taken by the protocol on behalf of the borrowers, and this enables them to operate. All right. The benefits of using Yamfore, there are lots of benefits. It just redefines it. We actually said reinvented in my little caption by offering unique benefits. It's such an exciting upgrade to the world of borrowing and lending. It's a lot less stressful. I'll tell you what, I've had some close calls. There's some big volatility events that happened. July 4th was a major one. I actually can remember these days because it was like I almost had a heart attack, fighting to not be liquidated, Okay, so you can read this, and I encourage you to read it in complete form on your own time. But let's look at this hypothetical case study. Okay, so Bob's an ADA holder, explored Yamfore as an innovative lending protocol, and wants to partake. And so he owns 1,000 ADA and decided to engage with Yamfore secure a loan. So remember, if you don't have Yamfore, what if you just have ADA? What if you don't have CBLP? So faced with the need to cover a 25% CBLP flat fee to initiate the loan, he evaluated two distinct options provided by the protocol. So one is he could supplement ADA with CBLP purchase. So Bob could augment his position by purchasing an additional $250 worth of CBL tokens on a DEX like MinSwap. This purchase would increase his total position to $1,250. Okay, so it would be $1,000 worth of ADA, and then $250 worth of CBLP tokens would be used to cover the one-time payment of his loan position. So Bob would be eligible for a $500 loan because you're able to borrow half of what you supply in ADA, right? So keeping in mind that Bob wants to supply $1,000, you have to then come up with 25% in this hypothetical. And these numbers aren't going to be exactly like this, but you'll see how wonderful this makes sense overall. Going to get those $250 worth of CBLP tokens, okay? And so you're not taking a loan out on 1,250, you're taking a loan out on the 1,000. Okay, so he's eligible for a $500 loan, reflecting a 50% loan to value ratio against his original ADA amount, reallocating ADA for CBLP. Here's the second one, right? So if you don't want to do this route and go buy $250 worth of CBLP tokens on the open market, the alternative involved reallocating 25% of his ADA to CBLP tokens, which would mean converting $200 worth of ADA into CBLP. This action would leave Bob with $800 worth of ADA to use as collateral, permitting him to secure a $400 loan from the protocol, maintaining a 50% loan to value ratio. And so in this hypothetical, Bob opted for the first option, acquiring $250 more worth of CBLP tokens so he can get a maximum loan amount while retaining his initial ADA investment. With his collateral in place, Bob received $500 loan from Yamfore, equivalent to a 50% loan-to-value ratio against his $1,000 ADA collateral. This loan came with a fixed annual interest rate of 7%. Yamfore's unique model meant that Bob faced no maturity date for the loan, no risk of liquidation, and no required ongoing interest payments. His loan position was represented by an NFT, which he got into his wallet, solidifying his ownership and terms. So think about it. You get your $500 and you don't have to worry about price volatility. Now, if you're in the world of decentralized finance, borrowing and lending, this comes as a big breath of fresh air. Actually, you don't have to worry about. And if you treat this $500 correctly, which is a whole other topic of a whole other video, it could be extremely advantageous. If you put this $500 to work correctly, it would way more than cover this 7% if you take advantage of market volatility, right? But that's not this video. As the crypto market evolved, Bob's ADA appreciated in value to $2,000 over a year, okay? So his original ADA that he supplied worth $1,000 is now worth $2,000. So it grew 100%. At this point, he decided to close his position. To do so, he repaid the principal of $500 plus the accumulated interest of $35. Right? Because you're not paying the fee. This is like when I talk to people about they make this mistake. You're not paying 7% on 1,000, right? It's obvious, but it's something that I think you should just say. It's something that you overlook. When you do the calculation, sometimes you calculate it because you have that 1,000 in mind. You're only getting the 7%. Obviously, is just on the loan itself. So the $500 that you're borrowing. Okay. And so that's $35. So to do so, what does he have to do to get his $2,000 worth of ADA back? He's got to pay the $500 plus that $35. Okay, so he reclaimed his full collateral. That's now doubled in value. And so to look at this, throughout the loan term, Bob had no further financial obligations to Yamfore, enjoying a hands-off loan experience. The protocol, in return, benefited from the staking reward generated by Bob's collateral ADA during the loan period. And in the end, Bob incurred a total cost of $285 for the loan, $250 for the CBLP flat fee in the beginning, and $35 in interest. However, considering the growth in ADA's value, Bob concluded his loan term with a significant net gain of $1,715, demonstrating the effectiveness and borrower-friendly nature of Yamfore's lending approach. And this goes into a little tokenomics. With over 75% of the tokens allocated to community members, this ensures that CBLP token is distributed across those who are most supportive to the protocol's success, not just a few affluent individuals. So there's going to be 1 billion in total supply, 50% to the community. This is the airdrop, the protocol treasury, miscellaneous development team. What I like about it is you can go into Cardano scan and check everything out. Let me see. Yes, it breaks everything down. Okay, great. Treasury, 5% of the CBLP will be allocated for the treasury, which enables individuals to indirectly provide liquidity to Yamfore via the CBLP auction portal. 50% goes to the community, will be allocated with a generated revenue going towards bootstrapping the stablecoin treasury. So that's the fair token offering. Yeah. Miscellaneous. So when they launch their mainnet, there's also going to be a fair token offering. And when that event takes place with the launch of the mainnet, the funds will be used to fill the stablecoin treasury, which then can be used to borrow, as users then will come in and supply their ADA and borrow against and borrow against that ADA. And to do that, they'll have to pay CBLP. So it's a really fantastic process. 20% of the CBLP will be allocated for miscellaneous development costs. These included CBLP liquidity provision, auxiliary development costs, community building. There's a 1% airdrop for community members. This already went through. Development team, 19% for the core development team. Okay, and I think that we aimed and talked a little bit about this, but it's just exciting here to understand this little graphic, this illustration on how Yamfore, the simplicity behind its cyclical nature and how the protocol seeks to grow. Right, there'll be demand, and then people will come in for funding, and then supply by taking a loan, supplying their CBLP, and then it kind of goes back into the demand with the CBLP token. Okay, charging how do they earn money? They earn revenue by charging a multitude of fees for loans, such as the CBLP flat fee, accrued interest, as well as collecting the ADA staking rewards, like we talked about. And these various revenue sources boost the pool of funds available for issuing more loans and helping the growth of Yamfore. So it's worth stating that CBLP token holders need to find the right level for loans. If the fees are too high, individuals simply won't want to take out loans. The perfect fee will have been temporarily found when borrowers are using all the stablecoin treasury available to be lent out. And so all those decisions are going to be made through governance, and you can have a direct say in that vote with your voting power in your CBLP token. Similar, that's why I showed you in the beginning of the video that I'm staking Liqwid Finance tokens to the platform. And so through their governance tab, you have the ability to vote on proposals created by the community, and your voting power equates to how much you're staking to the protocol. So how many CBLP tokens you'll have will give you a voting power into deciding these key decisions, which to me make it really interesting. It's just a level of feeling like you're a part of the project, right? You know, in the world of Web 2, we have just grown so comfortable and used to not knowing anything about what a project is doing and not being a part of any decision. We're just on the back end, receiving end of every single thing, that all of the applications that you use right now, whether it's social media platforms, you name it, all of those decisions and new features and partnerships and upgrades and what they do with the treasury and the treasury itself, the monies, all of that is being decided by the centralized C-suite of actors, and none of which is asked to you, the user. And this is what's so different about Web3, blockchain technology, and especially the Cardano ecosystem, as it seeks to really be the first mover, the first to market with a fully decentralized on-chain governance system that every Cardano native token project like Yamfore, like Liqwid Finance, gets to actually employ. MinSwap, all of them have this beautiful way of proposing ideas, directions, fees in this case, to the community, and we can all vote, so we all have a voice. Okay, and the aim is to continuously grow the capital for the loans without significantly compromising the long-term growth of the CBLP token value. So we as holders are dictating this by deciding how often tokens are released via the auction portal and what percentage discount is offered to arbitrageurs. Think about that. You know, we get to decide, and that's going to constantly fluctuate, like the rates of loans and markets right now, and banks and interest rates. All of that stuff is decided by the powers that be. But for this protocol and for protocols in the future, we get to decide. And the CBLP auction event occurs every 24 hours, allowing anyone to acquire CBLP tokens cheaper than market price, immediately benefiting from arbitrage. Okay, so the Yamfore protocol features a dynamic capital flow designed to fuel its lending operations and ensure liquidity within the system. At its core, the CBLP treasury is crucial for protocol's financial activities. So this treasury gathers fees from the protocol's operations, notably that major CBLP flat fee paid by borrowers when initiating loans. Portions of these fees are collected tokens and then allocated to that portal. And then they're offered to participants and then deliberate arbitrage opportunities to incentivize attracting more stable coins into the protocol. Now, if you are unfamiliar with arbitrage is what you could do is you could take out, like you could use your stable tokens, right, to acquire CBLP tokens at a discounted rate. You could take those CBLP tokens and do several things. Like you can also actually acquire ADA in these auction portals at a discounted rate. So you just triangulate the Jedi jujitsu that you could be doing here with arbitrage. Now, if you have CBLP tokens that you got at a discounted rate, you could do lots of things with them. You could take them to the open market and sell them for profit. You could use them on the platform in a way that, because when you buy the CBLP token off the auction portal for a discounted rate and then go ahead and take a loan out and pay the flat fee, you're not, the CBLP token is not counted as a discounted rate. It's a full rate. Okay, so I can imagine myself having some ADA that I want to use, having some stable tokens that I want to use, and maybe not having some CBLP tokens. So I can take some stable tokens, capture some CBLP tokens at a discounted rate, then take my ADA, supply it to the platform, pay my one-time fee in the CBLP tokens that I just got at a discounted rate, and acquire more stable tokens as a loan. This can turn into a full-time job. But I promise you, if you in that example up there with 1,000 or even something smaller to get your feet wet is something to consider. And so let's check out one more nice little visual here. Let's check this out. Right. So this is like how it all works. Capital inflow. Let's look at it, huh? Okay. So somebody opens a loan. The ADA staking rewards from the deposited collateral go right to an exchange pool. The CBL tokens are removed from circulation because you need to deposit your ADA. You need to pay a CBLP token one-time fee, and then which gives more demand for CBLP tokens. Okay, because they're removed from circulation and put into the auction portal. And then a minor re-inflow of tokens become available for the CBLP market, the auction portal. ADA staking rewards from the deposited collateral looks like they go into an exchange pool and USD exchanged for ADA. Okay, and that is going down into the USD treasury. The auction portal, where you're coming in with your stable tokens and purchasing CBLP tokens, are also going into this USD treasury, and then makes funds available for borrowing to open up a new loan. And then when you close that loan, okay, the principal plus that interest goes also into this treasury and then makes available for a new loan. And so when we do our follow-up video to CBLP Yamfore Protocol here, we are going to look at some hypotheticals on what I have in mind on the way up towards higher prices if we think the price is moving up, and then what would we do then at the top approaching a bear market, right? Because lots of people get so upset about bear markets, but there are such an opportunity. It's exactly the same opportunity, in fact, as a bull market. You just have to understand the opportunities that are presented to you and take advantage of those times when they actually come into play. And so, yeah, if your holdings drop 80%, 90% over the course of a year or more, yeah, of course you're going to be upset. But if you captured the value at the top or near the top, right? Nobody has a crystal ball, but when you're up in the top zone area and you captured that value, you're actually pretty okay all the way down that whole entire time. That price is falling. Well, you didn't really fall because you took advantage of that at the top area, right? And if you look at some of my videos, I talk about the investor tools and all these charts that you can look at, where you dive into the world of technical analysis, not because because nobody knows, but because you can have a better opportunity to see the opportunities. And so at the top, if you take advantage of the peak top and you make the correct moves, well, with that value, can I then use that as a loan? Can I then supply that ADA as value? And then can I not borrow against that on the way down and then capitalize on the way on the bottom and the capitulation and sort of recycle the whole sequence again, just the opposite way, and take advantage of the bull run? Okay. Governance, progressive governance. And it just goes back into more, it just gives you even more clarity of what these fees are and how the treasury works. Okay. And this is really interesting. What does the team control? The team controls with the Oracle, the stake pool, and the stable coin. Okay. So with decentralized, Yamfore is built with decentralization in mind. However, some aspects currently require temporary centralized management due to a combination of technical constraints and carefully considered design choices. Okay, and this is the conclusion. They are really imagining themselves differently than anything you've ever seen. They are the future of crypto lending, and it's exciting to run through some strategies that involve taking advantage of liquid finance with the Cardano native tokens, as well as building positions with Yamfore at the same time. I think that there are some unique strategies that I'm going to take people through a process of understanding, showing you in real time actually what I'm doing here so you can see, right? And then there's disclaimers of terms and all that. And then the next thing that we're going to do, if we went back to the website, there's the audit. We click the audit. We're going to look at this audit real quick. Audit report is really cool. I mean, if I'm investing in a project and participating in a project and taking some hard-earned funds of mine into a project, I want to know it's audited. And even more so, I would like to see that audit. And when I talk to people about white papers or audits, the response is, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see that, but I don't really have the time. Well, here we can see it together and just go through. I'm not going to read this whole audit like I did the white paper. I'm just going to skim through and just show you real fast and hopefully pique your awareness so that you can check these audits out. So this was presented by TX Pipe, and you can research them. They're formidable. So it's a complete comprehensive audit of Yamfore that is seeking to be a decentralized non-custodial lending platform on Cardano that offers stable coin loans backed by ADA. Okay, and then they investigate everything, looking for vulnerabilities, including scenarios where attackers might exploit the validator to lock up or steal funds. This audit was conducted with no warranties. Overview: Yamfore Protocol offers the possibility of taking loans at a fixed interest rate, USD-backed stablecoin, by locking ADA as collateral, and it also allows for providing liquidity for the loans in exchange for ADA or CBLP tokens, the protocol's main asset. So the protocol is comprised of three kinds of vault UTXOs, one for each asset managed by the protocol. So there's a vault for ADA, there's a vault for CBLP, and the loaned asset called USD hereafter. So there's going to be a basket of stabled coins. So USDM is one of them. We'll see if JED is another one. I think USDA is coming out from Emergo. Who knows if IUSD will be on there. When users take loans, users' positions, UTXOs, are created to hold the ADA collateral. Okay, so then users can borrow USD from USD vaults. When getting a loan, users must pay fees in CBLP tokens, as like we discussed. And so it just kind of gives through a condensed preview of exactly what we looked at in the white paper. And then it talks to you about their process of how it went through examining Yamfore's validators, how it looked for areas of vulnerability and security threats. And it lets you know that the audit took place over a period of several weeks and involved an evaluation of the protocol's mathematical model to verify that the implemented equations matched the unexpected behavior. And then they send you findings, and it shows you diagrams that we're going to see here that I found very interesting. It went through the specification of how they went through their audit and in great detail. Okay, and we're going to skim down to these. Went through the transactions. It went through everything. It's really pretty astounding that these audit entities even exist, right? It goes way above my mind. And it goes through the governance. It goes through all the transactions, how they did. You can really look at it. I mean, I went through this. I looked at every single thing. But like a lot of it, I'm like, what the heck? And so here are the findings. This is pretty cool. Look at this, right? So this is the finding. So they are rated from critical, major, just information, and the critical. Okay, so here are the findings. First one, critical. USD can be stolen to borrow transaction. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So it's great that they have audits for this, right? It was found to be critical, and then the status is that Yamfore resolved this issue. And when we see down below, what happens is after they give the findings, okay, then TXPipe gives suggestions and says recommendations. This is how you can, so this was that first one, right? USD can be stolen in borrow transaction. Okay, and it talked about the vulnerability and talked about the description. USD can be stolen in borrow transaction as it is not checked that USD leftovers are all paid to a new USD vault. So the recommendation of the fix would be when from TXPipe is that when there's a remainder of USD in the inputs for the amount borrowed by the user, assert the following, and they give a line of code, and the resolution is that over the course of these weeks through the audit, Yamfore has been working very closely with TXPipe to resolve the major issues. Okay, and just to give an example of the second one here, and then I'll leave the rest of them for you so that this video doesn't get extremely long. Okay, exchange transaction. User can control staking key of output vaults. Yeah, that's not good either. Okay, so for the vault options, for the vault outputs, created USD, leftover CBLP, ADA, there is no check that the staking part of the address is its own hash. The only check about the staking part is that it must be equal to that of the 0th own spend. But the 0 input could be fabricated by the user to contain any staking key he wants. This way, a user can consume several ADA vaults and create a single big leftover ADA vault with a staking key under his control. It's a little above my head, but what I do know is that is something that's an issue. It's a problem. And So their recommendation is to check that all vault outputs are paid to an address with the staking part equal to its own script hash, and it was resolved. And you can go all the way down the list of their audit that they present to you right on their website to click. And you can see for yourself without any filters, Yamfore, what they have to offer. And what they aren't, right? They're not a traditional lending platform where you have to worry about all those liquidations and margin calls and sleepless nights of providing your loans. And I like it. I like it for a big reason, because if you want to be safe on liquid finance, if you want to be safe on some of the traditional borrowing and lending platforms that have these margin calls and liquidations, you really need to have a high health factor. You need to have a health factor of like 3 or 4.0. And so to have a health factor of like 1.5, where you would put a loan up for $1,000, right, and then borrow 500, that's a low health factor. That's going to be underneath of like 1.5. And so if there's any volatility there, you're going to be at extreme risk for liquidation. And so you could lose a lot of that ADA that you put for your supply. And why I say that I think is a key factor is that if you wanted a $500 loan on liquid finance to be safe, you're going to need to put up something like $3,000, $5,000. Because then your loan, your health factor is going to be high. It's going to be 4, 5, 6, 10, 12. You love it to be high, way high, so that it can have a very, basically it would be impossible to get liquidated. The price volatility wouldn't be such that you would need to worry about liquidation. But if you wanted that $500 loan and you only had $1,000, it's really risky to take a loan out on liquid finance. But Yamfore, you don't need to put $5,000 up, $10,000 up for a $1,000 loan, right? And if you had $10,000, so when you start adding to these positions and you think of something like $10,000 loan that you're putting up in ADA, let's say, right? And you're thinking that you want a $5,000 loan. Well, it's even more risky and scary, I guess you could say, the thought of being liquidated, because that's $10,000 is a lot more. It means a lot more to you. Not that $1,000 you don't care about, but $10,000 gets liquidated. The pain starts to really be felt, and if it's $100,000, obviously, it's huge. So what I like about Yamfore is that if you do have that $10,000 loan, you can put it up, get $5,000, and not worry about liquidation. All you're going to do is pay back the interest that that you're walking into. And if you treat the loan properly, and this is what we'll do when we go through some hypotheticals, is what if you took the $5,000 there, okay, and you brought it into something like MinSwap DEX and put it to work, and it grew way more than 7%, or it grew way more than 20% in most cases, and you treated those loans as something that you can put to work. Right? I think a lot of people also make not the best decisions when they do take the loans out. You get the $5,000, and if you just kind of waste it away on something, you're going to need to do something to obviously pay that back to unlock that ADA. Okay, but if you treat the loan properly, it can grow at a rate that might outperform your interest, and therefore making it easy to unlock and actually giving you a profit. So it's a way to actually acquire more Cardano native tokens and expose you to more Cardano native projects that you might not be able to be exposed to with this specific amount of ADA you have. Okay, and so that's going to be it for this video. I hope you learned something. I hope that I didn't ramble too much. Again, this is a live feed, so I'm going to just experiment with doing these lives because it's a lot easier for me, right? Everybody's got a lot of things going on to do these videos. It is quite time consuming, but if I can just do these live videos and pump them out there for you in real time, and you have that alpha right away, I feel good, you feel good, and we all get something out of it. Okay, so I learned something. I hope you did. That's all, folks. We'll see you again in a video coming soon. Thanks, and looking forward.